Morning. 8 o'clock. I'm just pulling up to our next job. I dropped off that hydro seeder this morning, and the people, I guess they know that they've got you by the balls because nobody else rents a hydro seeder, because they didn't offer any sort of discount. They said, oh, sorry, we didn't clean it out first. So I just kind of had to pick my battle and say, yep, thanks. If there were other people that rented them, then it would be one thing, but I really don't want to buy another one, so it is what it is. But we are pulling up to this job. This is a dead-end road, and I don't really know where I can park because the road is pretty narrow, and I'm gonna block it. I guess I'll go up here and test the shoulder of this field and see what happens. I guess this is as good as it gets. I'm parked in front of the neighbors on a patch that is plow damage that was never fixed, so I hope they don't get too mad. But as I was saying about the hydro seeding thing, yeah, it's a bitch that it cost me $200 to rent a hydro seeder that I ultimately had to drive an extra hour round trip to have them rectify. But they did rectify it, and they were very sorry. And is it worth having a meltdown over? Not really. If you saw the list of problems I have, this doesn't even register on the scale. So, and like I said, nobody else rents them. I need it over and over again, so whatever. I owned one in the past, a different brand, and it was a piece of garbage, so I sold it. And yeah, I could rent one, or excuse me, I could buy one. I'm pretty sure it's about $12,000. $200 rental. I only need it maybe 5 times a year, so it'll take quite a while to get that money back, so not really worth buying one. So anyway, we'll move on. But this morning I've got 4 loads of SurePack material coming. SurePack is basically small rock, like 3/8, and a ton of fines, and it does pack well. This customer likes this stuff because of the color, which is kind of a pink, which customers have a love-hate relationship with, from my experience. They either absolutely want it or they don't want it within 5 miles of their property. So this is what it looks like right now. It's really not in bad shape, but we're gonna basically put another couple inches on the whole length. So I'm gonna get this machine started and let it run, and we'll go down and check with Brian, see what kind of tune-up is needed around the buildings, and then we put the Harley rake on and we wait. First, we scrape out all the grass so we can freshen everything up. This driveway doesn't need a lot of work. It's pretty good. Most of the time they're super washed out and grown in. But so we go through and scrape out everything we can. I try to do as much as I can with a skid steer so Brian doesn't have to do it with a shovel. But I don't get overly close to things so I don't break them. Once we get the grass scraped out, I I usually will just put it in the dump truck and haul it away. Some people live where you can dump it off in the woods or something, but this guy seems pretty particular, so I didn't even ask. It's nice to have a little dump truck or dump trailer so that you can haul this type of stuff away. Sometimes I think about selling that truck and I'm just think, man, I'd have to replace it with a dump trailer, and then somebody's got to have a CDL to tow it, and Brian doesn't tow trailers, and it just turns into a whole thing. So it's nice just to have a small dump truck. I'll show you something that I run into a lot, and that is overhead lines that restrict the truck from being able to tailgate. So a lot of times, if you don't plan ahead, he'll end up just tailgating as far as he can and then dumping a ton of material right where he had to stop. And what that does is it starts to widen out the road where he dumps it, because it spills over and flows off, and I hate that. So what I did was had him back over what he'd already tailgated by maybe 70 feet, maybe 80 feet, and had him tailgate on top of what he already spread to shrink the size of the pile that we end up with where he had to stop, to try to limit how far it carries off to the side. And now I'm basically backing over the whole length of the doubled up material and pushing it with the Harley rake, angling in a little bit every time and really bulldozing as I go up through. The plates on the side of the Harley rake are carrying material the best they can, and I keep pushing that material farther and farther up the driveway until I've finally made it all the way to the entrance of the driveway. So it takes a little bit of time, but better to do it with a machine. And I just am trying to not put the bucket on, because as soon as you put the bucket on and you start scraping, you just start making kind of a concave shape in your new material, and it's a lot harder to recrown it afterwards. See how I'm carrying material? You can see it rolling up on that wheel. I'm trying to carry as much as I can and trying to angle inward as much as I can, because I don't want anything to spill out and start making the driveway wider than I want it. So we carry it all the way up here, and as we stretch it, I'm picking up, straightening out a little bit, and we're continuing to push more material up. And then we just keep feathering until we see that the roll is empty. And then when you back up, you can see that you've stretched it. So right here where it widens out is where the pile was dumped, and you can see I've already stretched it about 20-25 feet. Alright, we're just getting finished up, doing some rolling, and this guy's concerned about this wall because the driveway's higher now. It's about 4 inches higher than it was. He's concerned because ultimately this culvert up here was put in incorrectly. The end of it is right at the edge of the driveway. The other end is 5 feet out, but they kind of built it around this stupid tree, so there's not enough culvert sticking out. It makes the driveway feel narrow, which the culvert's rotted on the bottom. I showed him that. Really needs to be replaced and set properly, and then you wouldn't feel as though the road was getting too wide for that end. But you just gotta leave it for now, and told him there's not much we can do about it. You need to replace the culvert. Before I knew it was rotted, I said we could put a coupling on the end of it and extend it 2 feet. but then when I crawled down in there, the whole bottom of it's gone. So just have to see how it goes. If he ends up having some issues, then I'm going to tell him the only thing we can do is replace the culvert and put it in properly. Well, there's the finished product around the house. Ryan built up the little ramps and made it look all nice. The key to not screwing up your work and wanting to turn around is to do it casually with the roller down, not vibrating, and make a 376 point turn. Like we never turned around. I think they'll be pretty happy with the final result. Gonna get loaded up and head to the next one. We were working on a dead-end road and I was not sure what was beyond the job site. What I did know was we were about 1/8 of a mile from the intersection, so I opted to just back all the way out and hope that there's no traffic coming. I haven't seen a car go by all morning, but usually they just wait until I'm trying to do something like this. There we go.